Time for the most important new car of the season, the Bentley Continental GT.
Bentley used to be a bit hamstrung by having to use inherited cars from Rolls-Royce, but now the two companies have separated, Bentley's got a whole new lease of life.
And the first thing they did to turn things around was to go back to their roots.
In the good old days, Bentleys and the Bentley boys led fabulous lifestyles. They were fighter pilots of the track, full of panache, mixing high society partying with daring do behind the wheel.
Well, we had nobody to beat but ourselves. We'd averaged over 80 miles an hour.
Had we really now?
Yes.
Yes. Victory after victory came at Le Mans.
This year's carefully plotted win at the 24-hour race is a clear attempt to tap back into those glamorous connotations. The Bentley boys would be proud. But what would they make of the new road car?
Well, at £110,000, it's just expensive enough to be reassuring.
The Bentley boys would have approved of its 6-litre W12 engine.
They'd have adored the twin turbochargers and 552 brake horsepower.
And been pretty impressed by its top speed of 198 miles an hour.
OK, Tiff, we'll get to that later. First, let's get one thing straight.
This is not, as Bentley claim, a proper four-seater.
They've made a lot of fuss about this being the fastest four-seater on Earth. But you'll only really want to spend time in the back if you're a kiddie-winkle.
Tiff, I'm in pain.
This has totally jammed my feet and ankle. I cannot move at all.
I'm never going to have children.
And there's no headroom either.
Oh dear.
Well,
It's all gone wrong.
Monte Carlo, here we come.
Not like this, we're not.
It may be short on room, but it is big on features, like the specially coated glass which stops harmful sunlight from fading your fine interior. Or the small transmitter firing out up to 3 pre-programmed signals for your electric gates, one in the town, one in the country, and your police garage door opener. Puddle illuminators are hidden under the wing mirrors to make for more graceful entry and exit. A touch-sensitive logo opens the huge boot, complemented by a flying bee in the bonnet.
Who needs an owner's handbook when information is accessed via the onboard computer, along with the preferences of different drivers? News of traffic jams is always available, and charmingly, the radio can't be turned off, only turned down.
It is beautifully appointed inside. European maps for the sat-nav are leather-bound. There's a clock that says Breitling on it, and other switches are like small jewels. But there's no tactile bounty from a horrible Volkswagen Group key. But at least you don't need to use it. Time for the test track.
Despite all the brouhaha about winning at Le Mans and bringing back the spirit of the Bentley boys, I wasn't expecting that much from the driving experience. Yes, there's that massive 552 horsepower under the bonnet, but this thing weighs 2.5 tons. And it really does show it when you first accelerate. You don't get a big kick in the back, but it's just when things start moving, you realise it just keeps on and on and on accelerating.
The Bentley accumulates speed relentlessly, but not once does it make you feel edgy or tense. In fact, at times, it hides its weight very well.
The 6-speed automatic gearbox does its own thing with seamless changes, and I could interfere with it with these little paddles, but I doubt if anyone would ever bother. The ride quality is very good, and I'm quite impressed with the lack of body roll. The body control is very good indeed. But where it's all let down is with this steering. It's just, well, it's as dead as you can get. It's just rather like, well, stirring a big, heavy pudding. It just doesn't communicate with you, and I guess that's okay for the sort of people that are going to buy these Bentleys. For the real Bentley boys of today, they'd much rather have the feel of their Ferraris and Porsches.
I think one of the most interesting things about the Continental GT is the fact that it's the ultimate celebrity car, a concept Bentley have courted before. The old Continental GT was driven by people like Aristotle Onassis, Henry Ford, and if you read the books, James Bond.
Bentleys these days are finding favour with the likes of David Beckham and Elton John, and hip-hop artists. No rapper worth his bling can be seen without a Bentley these days. In fact, they're turning up in the lyrics more than the word gun. I have here 57 examples of the word Bentley appearing in street music. It's unbelievable. Some blokes in a factory and crew have created something that's unspeakably cool in the eyes of American trendsetters. Where Bentley once meant raise a glass, it now means shake your ass. It's an amazing feat.
But the kind of feat I'm more interested in involves speed. Could the Bentley Continental GT really do 198 miles an hour? After making a few adjustments, the most important thing is to keep tabs on tyre temperatures. On the banked test track, they could rise to dangerous levels. Rain significantly reduced that threat, but with it came an ice-like surface.
Right out onto our bowl of a test track, and no need to just go flat out straight away. Just build up nice and gently, don't razz the tyres up. Slowly pick the speed up, 4th gear, get up into this top outside lane, the maximum banking here at Millbrook, which actually allows a hands-off speed of 100 miles an hour. So we can actually spend the whole day now driving at exactly 100 miles an hour around a 2-mile lap without steering at all. But of course, as you want to go faster, the car starts going up towards the edge, and from now on, we're going to have to hold the car down. That's when the tyres begin to take the pressure, and we build up the speed. Just drop it back to 5th gear, get the maximum acceleration, 140, and even now these conditions, we're just going to start squeezing it on. Squeezing a bit more. 5th gear, the revs are 6,000 RPM, and that's 160 miles an hour. And now we need to check those tyre temperatures again.
The pressures were slightly up, but my glamorous assistant noticed the temperatures had tripled.
Oh, crikey, that's going up massively.
Despite the raindrops firing at the screen like bullets, I psyched myself up to take on the risks and see how close to 200 I could get.
Amazing how far you've now got to look ahead of this speed. You really want to feel the line of this bowl. There are some nasty bumps you get used to around about this 3/4 mile. There they are, the 1 mile mark. You remember those the next time around. We're almost in the red line. It's changed automatic to 6th gear. We're up at 160, 170. Really beginning to pull up now. I'm on full throttle in 6th. The speed is increasing slower now as that wind resistance builds up. We're getting up now to 180, all the time building speed. Now that's 190 miles an hour. Really, oh, you feel over the bumps there. It's beginning just to fidget around underneath me. And although I fully believe this car will do probably over 200 miles an hour around this banked circuit, I'm just going to ease off the throttle now, feather it down. You don't suddenly shut off the throttle either, otherwise the rear end can start overtaking the front.
It was at this point I remembered Bentley's last words to us. On no account do any high-speed runs. Oops.
So we've proved beyond doubt that Bentley's Continental GT is faster than you'll ever need. But although we like it, we don't love it.
You see, it's not as sexy as a Ferrari, nor as desirable as an Aston Martin, although it is preferable to a top-of-the-range Merc.
It has undoubtedly carved a whole new niche as a celebrity car.
But we can't help but feel that if you were one of today's Bentley boys, you'd be looking elsewhere.